morning, Aries. What's going on? Welcome in. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to be looking at your energy for the next couple weeks. So welcome in. Let's get into it. I hope that you're doing well. I probably already said that, but I mean it 2 times over. Yeah, so we are just coming off of a full moon in Scorpio as I'm recording these, or this. The messages are always timeless. Whenever you find them, if it resonates, definitely just use your discernment. Take what's yours, leave the rest behind. Energy time is fluid in our world here at Purusha Intuitive. And I also do personal readings. So if you want something that's a little more specified to your situation, definitely hit me up. All that info is in the description box below. But yeah, when I'm recording these in real time, we're just coming off of a full moon in Scorpio. It was a little bit heavier, and we're still feeling the effects of that. Mercury retrograde is ending today, in fact, April 25th. So we're coming out of that, which is quite nice. But then the beginning of the month, May 2nd, Pluto goes back into retrograde. And that's part of this resistance, this kind of like annoyance that we're finding in this back and forth. Or just not really like putting plan action into place and not really seeing the results that we want to. Because Spirit is testing us right now. Are we committed to the path? Are we actually putting our money where our mouth is? That is the practice. Not a fun one, but it really is going to get us results if we stay vigilant. So we'll start off with an energy cleansing just to set the vibe, set the tone. This is a great time to set your own intention. If you have a specific question you're looking for Spirit to answer, it will help remove blocks, areas that we're not finding clarity, understanding around what is happening in our world. And let's get into it, Aries. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything and everything that is blocking the highest and best messages from coming through. Any fear, doubt, insecurity, lack of worth, lack of value, anger, frustration, all those things, just remove those from our being. Help make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Amen. All right, let's get going. We always have support from the other side, regardless of what your belief is, whether you ascribe to religion or not. Spirit wants to remind you that we always have support. And it's important to call upon that, especially in those moments of stillness when we're not necessarily seeing a lot of movement forward or we're feeling stagnant. The places that we do find those blocks. Spirit's asking us to trust, to rely on what is unfolding. Again, that keep the faith keeps coming through for you, Aries. So let's get into it. Let's see what your overarching energy is. Okay, yeah, this is a really powerful creation energy that you're walking into this time with. I love it. It really resonates with me because we are ending Mercury retrograde. Anytime retrograde plays out, that energy brings up things that are not being dealt with, things that get kind of swept under the rug, or cycles that we really need to close out in order to move forward. So your energy is really powerful walking into this ending of Mercury retrograde. I feel like a lot of clarity. I feel this sense of wisdom. I feel you have better direction laid out in front of you. You feel more empowered. You're ready to go. You're ready to make it happen. And it's like, I keep hearing, you get it. You get it. Whatever you're moving through, you can see things clearly, or that clarity is coming. And that can be a blessing and a curse, right? Because sometimes when we get to that space of just like feeling really empowered, feeling really good, it can definitely play on our ego. And so Spirit is asking for that balance. Yes, like be powerful 100%. Don't dim your light at all. But at the same time, don't get drunk off the power, right? Don't get drunk off of the energy of ego gratification. And, you know, sometimes as a fire sign, that can be very challenging because you can be very decided in what you think, what you want, and you execute accordingly. And you get results quite quickly, is what I've seen with a lot of fire signs. So Spirit is really asking you to rebalance this part of yourself. How can you have a little more refinement in these spaces? Staying humble, staying grounded, staying, you know, I mean, and a lot of that has to do with the way we show up in our relationships. You can know everything, but you don't have to tell everyone you know everything, right? Or sometimes we just keep those nuggets of wisdom to ourselves and we let people walk in their own way, walk their own path, and do what they have to do. Because Spirit is really needing you to reevaluate the way you're addressing something, the way you're approaching something, because new beginnings are on the horizon. So anytime we step into a new cycle in an ideal world, we don't want to carry that karma with us. Karma being those more ego-based desires, the places that we let ourselves get out of control or we lack willpower. It's when we instinctually know that something, like we shouldn't be doing something or saying something in a certain way, and we continue to do so, right? So finding a little bit more balance within that as you push forward. And I feel like Spirit's really asking you to take some time to yourself over these next couple weeks and making sure that you get really clear on what that looks like. You're in this space where your outside world, your outside environment is coming together quite nicely, quite cohesively. You've put in the work and the energy in order to get there. And now let's keep it, right? Let's keep what you have going. Let's keep that momentum moving forward and not allowing things like the ego to get in the way. Yes, it can be annoying because sometimes we do have to humble ourselves. Sometimes we do have to bite our tongue or let something play out without putting a lot of either expectations on it, or I'm hearing like trying to just let the energy play out and not push it in a certain way, which again, fire energy can be very intense. And when you feel quite assured, you know, you can kind of bulldoze your way through things. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. That fire energy is incredibly powerful, especially when it comes to what you're manifesting. But you want to make sure, again, that you're putting your energy in the right place, that you're fighting the right people, so to speak, right? We have this Knight of Cups energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You know, making sure that something is not fighting just for the fight of it is what I'm hearing. Because your heart's there, your idea is there, but you want to make sure, again, that commitment to the path is coming through for you again. Because you are, there is new beginnings on the horizon, something new, and again, you're already coming into this new cycle with a really strong foundation set. It feels really good. The only thing that's getting in your way is this kind of conflict energy, like wanting to fight or wanting to be right is maybe a better way to say it. Again, not throwing shade to anyone. This is just what I'm seeing. You'll know if this resonates for you. If it doesn't, don't even pick it up. But with that Five of Swords, it shows that you've drawn a line in the sand, that, you know, you're only willing to go so far. And I feel like it's making you reflect. It's making you think. into this situation a little bit deeper. Maybe something that you didn't put thought into beforehand. Now you're like, should I have done it that way? Was that really the right approach? Or was there something that could have been worked out around that? With the Four of Wands, family, home involved. This can also be people, situations that feel like family, our work environment, our community, our good friends, etc. Take it how it resonates. Yeah, but there's a lot of conflict on both ends. There's conflict coming from your end, conflict coming from this other space. And I'm hearing like you're having a difference of opinion with someone, maybe in your family, in your home, someone who is a little closer to you that may or may not be involved in this situation that you set these really strong boundaries with. Again, there was this part of you that probably didn't look too deeply into it before, and now that this conflict is arising, it's forcing you to go back and make a decision about which way you're gonna go. I hear there's a lot of difference of opinions. I hear that people who you care about, that you love, that respect, are encouraging you to go in one way, that your ego's resisting a little bit. Because there's this element of wanting to be right. Five of Swords is when we will win at all costs. So however we have to spin the narrative or whatever we have to say in order to get what we want out of this situation. And again, none of this is to throw shade at anyone. This could be a cross-watcher energy. Take it how it fits. This is also just insight into how you can better empower this creation that is unfolding for you. You know, and I get it. I do have some fire in my chart, and boy, do I love to run my mouth. You know, it feels very gratifying. It feels really good in the moment, but it's also something that can push people away, right? It's also something that can create these really heavy divides in our relationship that make it challenging to come back from. And Spirit's really asking you with this Knight of Cups energy to soften your energy a little bit more. Add a little more water to that fire, which it maybe sounds counterintuitive, but it's softening, right? It's not letting the blaze get out of control, so to speak, containing it with that water element of care, compassion, empathy, and understanding. And if you don't have clarity around a certain thing, have a conversation, ask questions, find things out, right? Don't just assume. We all know what assuming does. It makes an ass out of you and me, right? So there has been a limit. Hangman being blocked right now is refusing to change the perspective, refusing to see things in a new light. That's probably why that Five of Swords energy is coming up in your energy these next couple weeks. The Knight of Blades. So something is choosing a different path. This might be the person you have conflict with. This is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, air sign energy that maybe was seeing things differently and just walked away is what I'm hearing. The Knight of Swords is all about making plans, strategizing. How are they going to move forward? If this doesn't work out, then I'm on to the next thing is what I'm seeing. And there is this energy of them looking back to the past, but also continuing to move forward. King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, that value of grounding. There's a lot of people involved in this situation. Someone, there's a lot of spying energy, and this has been coming up a lot lately for all the zodiacs, especially because this Pluto moving into Aquarius is a time to claim what you want, claim what you're passionate about, and remove the things that are not serving you, removing the things that aren't supportive. So it's like all these different dynamics are going on around this one situation that you put a stop to. You didn't want to be a part of it, which is fine, right? You have the ability to make your own discernment. However, for a lot of the people, places, and things, ego is coming into play, and it's made it way messier than what it needs to be. And that's where this thinking component comes in, where we have to reevaluate and really assess, assess who and what we're believing and why are we believing that way. That's a really good question to ask yourself. Why? Where is this coming from within me? Is this something that I legitimately feel? Or is this something someone's telling me? Is this someone that is some gossip or some piece of slander or whatever it may be? Because there is an individual who's also at play that has been really deceptive with this Scorpio energy. Someone who wanted to burn the whole thing down is what I'm hearing. They wanted to see someone fail, and it's caused a really messy dynamic. It was someone who put their opinion in, and it didn't need to be, is what I'm hearing. To clarify one more on this. Yeah. Someone who really struggled to remain balanced, or maybe they thought they were bringing balance back into the situation, but the way that the way they went about it was really poor. There's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of ego-based action. Yeah. And again, you can have difference of opinion, you can believe, but being very careful about who and what we believe. I feel like that's the bottom line in this reading for you, because it really has stolen your joy. Places that you have been busting your ass in order to create, in order to thrive. Now you're in this place where it's like, well, it's more important to put your happiness first. Ten of Cups energy, King of Cups energy, staying emotionally balanced, right? Finding out the information that you need and not necessarily relying only on the gossip. There's value, like that's the other thing I'm hearing for you, Aries, is patience in the process. There is value in waiting things out, finding out the information that is needed. And it's actually allowing you to find more happiness and more balance. But that part of your ego, that part of your pride, it needs to be softened. It needs to be let go a little bit over these next couple weeks. And I feel like that might be a little bit of a challenge. Again, no shade. But like I was talking about, when planets go into retrograde, especially with this Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn, it's calling us to refine those places that we haven't really been honoring ourselves, others, relationships in an authentic way. And it's not talking about getting back into business with someone that doesn't feel right for you or doesn't fit right. It's not about that. It's about being able to honestly evaluate situations that, that have not catered towards this, situations that have thrown you off course, or places that you have allowed your ego to get in the way, others have allowed ego to get in the other way. Filling in the gaps is what I'm hearing, because the puzzle is not complete. All the pieces are not there. And so Spirit's asking you, Spirit's asking you to find that information out. There's more to the story. There's more to be uncovered here. And this is also about that learning and growth. It's also about those nuggets of wisdom we were talking about earlier. And what I'm hearing is your intuition, your soul is sensing this, but your ego doesn't really want to acknowledge it quite yet. And I feel like over these next couple weeks, it will be softening a little bit more for you, because there's going to be more evidence coming to light that is making whomever this King of Pentacles is, shedding light onto them, onto their motivations, why they were operating out of this low vibiness. People acting really immature. There could be children involved in this situation, especially if you're dealing with home, with family. But now the scales are shifting, the tide is turning, and where someone was accusing someone of something else, it's gonna flip. I feel like a lot of light is gonna get shed onto this person. Yeah, and there have been a lot of regrets in the process. It is painful to look at. You know, when we are so convinced by our ego, when we're so convinced about who did what to us and how and why and blah, 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 without having all the information, it's way easier to hide behind the ego than actually bring in awareness around the truth. And this is humbling. I do feel like, you know, part of your energy, it is going to pull at your heartstrings. Part of you is going to be sad and disappointed, but it's also going to be a burden lifted. And Spirit's asking you to go through this process because of what you've been creating, because of how you've been showing up and operating in your life. And there's duality everywhere, right? I mean, that's the nature of the beast. Everyone has good and bad, or light and shadow, however you want to see it. We all have our credits and our deficits. I love it saying it that way. And often when we focus on the deficits, it just encourages more of those deficits. And it feels like this was a situation where there was a lot of people involved, a lot of opinions, a lot of perspectives. And, you know, more needs to be learned, more needs to be uncovered to see the reality of this situation. There was a lot of ulterior motivations around from the people that were involved. And this is going to be coming to light. I feel like it already has. It started to, or what I should say, during Mercury retrograde. And the more you move on these next couple weeks, the more you're going to be feeling that pretty strongly. We do have a new moon in Taurus coming up. So I feel like it's a really good opportunity for you to set new intentions, how you really want those relationships, those dynamics to show up in your practical world, who you want to work with and who you don't, you know, and really kind of being aware around what works for you, what is authentic to you. And I feel like that's really going to help you move over this last, well, not last obstacle, but last one for right now. So Aries, if you made it this far, thank you so much for your time and energy. I really hope the video helped. Know that I am just sending a lot of love and blessing to whatever you're navigating through. I know sometimes these are hard, right? But it's really going to help you rise above. It's really going to help you tap into that power tenfold. I'm super pumped to see how this unfolds for you. Thank you for the love and support to the channel, always sending love and blessings your way.